Test, test, test. Can you hear me talking? Talking, talking, talking. Can you hear me talking? Welcome to Friday. Can you hear me talking? No, Brian.
All right, cool. Good Friday morning. Welcome everybody. I'm Carson, and I am doing a live stream today of just tinkering around with some new stuff with Tableland. And I'm just going to adjust my mic a little bit because I'm shorter than I thought I would be. Yeah, so thanks for joining. Hopefully the volume levels of the sweet lo-fi beats in the background are okay. Let me know if not. So it's my turn to do a workshop live stream this week, and so I thought I'd use the opportunity to learn a bunch of new stuff. So as you can probably see on my screen here, I've got a couple of different resources and web pages and stuff. So I'm going to build a web app with the Svelte cybernetically enhanced web apps dev framework for building web apps. Obviously, we're going to play around with some Tableland stuff, and then I'm going to try out this Carbon design system from IBM. I'm not a design type person, so I'm probably going to do a terrible job of it, but hey, we'll see. And then we're going to play around with, we're going to learn Svelte. So I did a little practice run of this earlier this week. We'll see how far we get. I'm going to try and do the whole thing from scratch, which means there may be some awkward moments when I'm reading docs and things like that. If that happens, you can just sit back and listen to the lo-fi beats, which is why I've got it. I recommend a coffee and some, nice headphones, and to just sit back and maybe cringe a little bit as I struggle through all this. So I'm just going to dig right in and get started. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can post them in the YouTube comments, and they'll show up on my screen here. I'm using some sort of fancy streaming thing, so I should be able to see all that stuff. You can also post in our Discord. That's probably the best place to do it, and then the rest of the team can also respond and stuff like that. And the rest of the team, especially like Alan and our other TypeScript gurus, I'm watching because you can tell me if I'm making mistakes as I go. So yeah, let's dig in. So first of all, I'm going to do this all in TypeScript, and I just jumped onto the Svelte blog and said, how do you start a Svelte app? Pretty straightforward. So I might make this font a little bit bigger just so everybody can read it. So this is the sort of standard practice apparently for making a cybernetically enhanced web app. They've got this, they use dgit to create these templates. So I'm going to call this Svelte Tableland app. So we're going to do that, and I'm just doing this inside of my inside of a dev folder that I have here. So I've got an old demo that I played around with and our new one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into there. And we basically have a pretty standard Node web app. And let me know if I'm going too fast or if you can't see the fonts or anything like that, and I can make some changes. So then apparently all you have to do is run this script in there to convert it to a TypeScript web app, which is pretty cool. That was fast. Okay, that's suspiciously fast. But anyway, apparently if you read all this, you'll be an expert and you'll know what's going on. And you can follow along these docs if you have like an existing Svelte project that you want to convert to TypeScript, but this is a brand new project, so probably not required. So I'm going to do most of my development here in VS Code. So let's just go ahead and open that. Oops. Let's see. Svelte Tableland app. Here we go. All right. So we got a pretty standard looking web app dev environment here. A couple of things we can play around with. Here's the main app, and just to sort of make things a little bit easier to let follow, I'll do my We'll do a terminal down here to make that, oops, I don't want to make that any bigger. Okay. And is that font big enough? I can make that bigger too. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna just npm install everything here to get it all set up. Let that run. And so my goal here is to make something that looks a little bit like this. Okay, it's going to be like a little app where we can specify, maybe with query parameters, where, you know, the can then board kind of thing that we're going to play around with. It's going to have a few things at the top, and you'll be able to connect with your MetaMask wallet, create some new boards, add some tasks, sync it from the network. You'll be able to like drag and drop some stuff around here. And then I want to be able to set it up so that I can actually grant access to mutate my board to another Ethereum address. And then obviously we'll have to have some like dark mode stuff going on there too, just to make it look good. But that'll be the kind of fun thing there, I think, is I haven't done any, I haven't used our new grant and revoke API stuff yet. So basically you can use standard grant and revoke SQL statements to actually change the access control of a Tableland table, which is pretty cool because then you can start to build all sorts of like apps where you need to control access. Anyway, there we go. So we've installed everything down there. Hopefully you can kind of see that. Move this over a little bit. Then there's a couple of things I think like by default we're going to want to have like installed and using. So what did I say? We're going to use install for development. We're going to use the Carbon components. Svelte. We're going to use Carbon, not Carson, Carbon icons, Svelte. We're going to use Tableland SDK for sure. And then I also checked this ahead of time. I'm going to use this to do that, handle that path, query paths at the top. And then I think that's pretty much it. Although, actually, we want Tableland SDK to be part of our name. We'll install that stuff, let that go. And we're going to install, npm install, Tableland SDK. There you go. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Okay, cool. So we got that stuff installed. Now we might as well just check out to see what it looks like. So if we do npm run dev, we'll build our little web app, and it's just that I haven't changed anything, so it should just be the default one. And we're just running it here on localhost. And you know what? I think I need to use on Firefox. There we go. Okay, cool. So there we go, tutorial done. We made a web app. So we might as well try to make it do some cool stuff. So I'm not going to teach everybody Svelte because frankly, I'm just learning it as we go here. But the idea is basically you have these like kind of app components, these .svelte files, and they get compiled to your actual like web page. So it's you have these components where you have like a script section at the top, then you have the actual content of the like of the component here, and then you have like style things. So it borrows a lot of syntax and things like that from HTML and CSS, but you know, sort of like a server-side development framework that gets compiled into your build, and then you can deploy this, you know, as a single-page web app to IPFS or any number of things like that. So let's try to do something where we, you know, integrate Tableland. So one thing that I learned is pretty quickly once you start developing with Svelte, you end up wanting some sort of like, if people are familiar with React or things like that, some sort of like central store that you can refer to from anywhere in your app to mutate and interact with state. And I have no idea if this is like the best practices or anything like that, but that also seems like a good place to interact with remote APIs and things like that. And so with Tableland, we're going to be interacting with the Tableland network and a bunch of remote APIs, as well as our MetaMask wallet and things like that to do signing and things and all the sort of local client-side stuff that we need to do. So we can kind of do that right away. I think we can start by building a store, and so maybe I'll call it store.typescript. Oops. Oh, there we go. This probably doesn't recognize. Anyway, that's okay. Okay, and so in Svelte, when you're building a store, you can either build a readable or a writable one. So I'm going to make a writable, there you go, store. And I'm going, whoops, and I want to integrate Tableland. So I'm also going to import connect in the connection object from Tableland SDK. I'll make this a bit wider now. And then I think I can sort of just get going and create. So it seems to me, it seems to be, and if you look in the docs and things like that, a common pattern is that you basically you export a function to create your store, and then you also generally just create like a singleton of that and export that as well. And so this is where we'll do our setup, and I want to actually like set it up so that we can connect to the Tableland network and all that cool stuff there. So, you know, with JavaScript, it's always kind of a good idea to encapsulate everything that you don't want exposed inside of functions and things like that. So that's what we'll do here. And so we're going to create this writable thing. I don't know what the type is going to be yet, so I'll just leave it as this, and then we'll leave this null. So we're going to create this like this store, and then in order for some object to be store compliant in Svelte, you really only need to have a subscribe function. And so we can just pass through the subscribe function to this thing and return it. And basically we'll just get reactive behavior anytime this store gets changed. Now right now we don't actually have any way to change the store, but that's the whole idea, is like the whole app will be able to react to changes that you make to the store. So then the only other thing I want to be able to do is, for now, is actually like set up my connection to the Tableland network. So I'm gonna just encapsulate an object or a reference to the Tableland network here. This is going to be our API connection. And this is basically when we run connect here, oops, we're going to have to sign something via MetaMask, and then we'll be able to interact with the Tableland network after that. So what I want to do is I'll add to my store a way to actually like connect before I actually start to mutate the state of my store. And just so we're clear, I'm not like 100% making this up on the fly. I kind of came up with a plan last night of how this might work, and I think this is going to be it. So I have my little off to the side here. I'm sneakily looking to see how I sort of like planned it out. Anyway, I think for Tableland right now, the only network we have is testnet, so we'll just do that. And so what I can do is I'll basically say, oh, okay, if I connect to my connect to the network, then I'll mutate or I'll update this value here. And still, that's not going to change any of the state on my store. So what I can do is maybe my store will also will indicate if it's ready to go, like if it's connected. So we'll do like is connected, and that'll just be a Boolean. Okay, and then so that means my store here. Okay. And then the initial value is connected will be false. Okay. And then once I've connected and I await that, then I will update my store. And if you've ever used something like Redux or something like that, it's similar to this. So we'll do where my store. And you basically just you want to return like, you want to immutably return a new state for your store. So in this case, it'll be like, whatever my store state currently is is connected equal to true. Oh, I'm gonna wrap that in some parentheses so it's happy. There, cool. So now when I connect to the Tableland network, I await that and I get back a connection object, which I'm going to use later. Maybe I'll just console log this so that we can see if it's working. And then I'm going to update my store to say it is connected. Okay, so that's our store that we're going to work with. And now let's sort of like turn this into something useful. So first things first, is everybody still there? Did I scare everybody away? Let me know if you're still there. This is weird talking to my wall, but any interaction is fun interaction. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna update the app here, and I'm gonna just I'll leave the hello world piece there, get rid of this. And I've looked ahead at this like Carbon design system, and if you look at the documentation here, they got all sorts of of these fun components and things. Nope, that was the right place. Ah yeah, here we go, all of these components. And one of them is like just your standard UI. So I'm gonna start with that. It's just a header. And so I'm gonna do like a really simple one so that we get something that looks kind of just like our plan here. So basically just like a bar at the top. And the cool thing there is we'll be able to like see that we're connected, and we'll have a little connect button perhaps. And then that'll at least give us something to go on as we start to build out the rest of it. Wrong button. Okay. So, first things first. Up here at the top, just like any TypeScript file, you can import stuff. And I am not good at design, so I just did not want to have to touch this style stuff at all. So that's why I'm using this design system here. And so first of all, we can do some like dynamic themes, which would be kind of cool. But anyway, so I've installed this. So we're just going by the docs here. Look at that, we can just use this. And we're going to import that CSS. And if I run that, I guess my app just, well, there's not really much change there. That's not particularly exciting. But that's fine. So I guess now we have the style that we need. Yeah, I agree, Sander. Sander's just, yeah. It would be good to have someone to like have a little bit of banter with, actually. So maybe that's something we can do next time. Anyway, I'll just read whatever people post and then pretend that you're talking to me, and that will make me feel a little bit better. Okay, anyway, let's stick in a header here. Okay, so I got my CSS. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Import, I'm gonna import header. That's the obvious one. And then if you look, you can have like some stuff on the side of the header, and those are apparently called header utilities. And I don't know why, but you need to have this in here, or at least all the examples have that, so I'm going to also use it. Okay, got those. Now let's do it. Oops. Header. Okay, so the company, to call it something, I'm gonna call it Tableland. Or no, yeah, Tableland. And I'm actually going to, now we're just gonna say do. And then inside of that header, and this is just pulling from the docs, so I'm not suggesting I know what I'm doing here. It always has this. Svelte, fragment, skip to the content. If anyone knows what that means, you can let me know. And then, if you look at the docs again, and you scroll down, I checked this out the other day. Yeah, here. We can do like stuff over on the right here. And that is part of the header utilities stuff. So, I'm going to create a little section in my header called header utilities. And, oh, and I'm going to import a button. I'm just doing this on a separate line so that I keep my sort of stuff clean. So inside of header utilities, let's stick a button. Button, who's got the button? And it's gonna be a primary button. Whoops, primary. Oh, look at that. See, TypeScript is great. It tells me if I'm spelling things right. It's super handy. And I want it to be just, oh, look at that. See, gorgeous. Connect. I want it to be just an icon, so apparently you have to set a description and then you don't put anything inside of the button. And then we got to pick an icon. So I also installed all those icons, so I can do something like import. carbon icon svelte slash lib. Whoops. There's a connect one. Yeah, cool. Look at that. Boom. Connect icon. Let's stick that in there. And by the way, when I'm done with this, I'll probably just turn this into a demo in the Tableland demo repo. And I think I'll leave it at wherever I get to here so that you can watch the video potentially and like get to the same point as me and then make it better. And that would be super cool. Now, the other thing, well, so first let's look at our progress. Boom, look at that, Tableland to do, little connect button, doesn't do anything. That's cool. You know, and it looks the way we want it. It says connect over there. That's pretty cool. So, oh, you know what we can do here? So we can do this. Right? We're doing great. And then, so now let's just hook up that button. Let's just make it connect to Tableland. We're just gonna do it. So if we do that, I guess, oh yeah, so this is super cool about Svelte. So you just have these like on things. So like on click, and then I'm gonna just do it in line here. Hold on just a sec, oops, on click. And we're just gonna have an arrow function, which will call our store's connect method, right? Oh, so we gotta import store first. Well, let's have like local imports. Icons. There we go. Okay, so we're going to import, and we're going to import the store Singleton from our local store. And this is TypeScript, so you can put .js and it just like it should know what it's doing. But it didn't really like that. Oh, that's just because that's not a real function content. Boom. There we go. That's better. Nope, still not liking something. There we go. Maybe. Just try that again. It's a good thing I have this lo-fi music in the background in these awkward moments. Building, building, building. Huzzah! We're back. Okay, I guess because it's a new file that hadn't been imported into the app before, I probably just needed to restart the dev thing. Anyway, there we go. So, now what we can do, well, let's blast all this. We don't need this stuff. Now what we can do is we can just say, okay, cool, we're gonna connect to the store. Store dot connect. Is that it? Import store connect. No, I don't want that. Oh, there we go. Cool. Okay, that's surprisingly straightforward. Now, here's what's going to happen is I'm totally going to have to enter in my password. And you're all going to see it. So I'm going to try and do it off screen here. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see. Yep, cool. There's my password. Everybody can see. You know, if you zoom into those little circles, they're actually letters and you can see them. So you can try zooming in while you're watching. Boom! Look at that! We connected, we made a Svelte app with this Carbon design system. We got a little thing at the top and we connected to the Tableland network. Boom, that's it. I mean, so far that's not much, but that is pretty cool. Maybe just to like show that something's actually happening, what I could do is, let's see. We can, we'll just do a list. We'll add a list method here. Where I'll just list all of the tables that are associated with my account. We won't use that later on down the line, but at least like if I mess everything up, you'll see we're at least like technically we are in fact connecting to the network and it's working. So that would be kind of cool. So let's just add something here called data, and for now I'm just going to leave it at any. Not good practice, but I don't know what exactly the response is that we're going to get is going to look like. So anyway, and I'll just call this fetch. And what we're going to do is we're going to say data equals. I did not do this before, so like, who knows if this is going to work? But oops. Await API dot. Yeah. Okay. So this list function on the in Tableland will basically list all of the tables on Tableland that are associated with my account once I'm connected. You can actually specify which account to search for, but by default it'll use the one that I'm like connected to or connected via. Okay, anyway, whatever. So this is going to give me back a promise of some table metadata right there. Oh, cool. So actually, let's just get table metadata type here, and we're going to say that this is going to be table metadata. Boom. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're actually going to use set here. So this will basically like updates our whole store. We could also update our store. Actually, you know what we're also going to do is, oh wait, what does this return? This actually returns a list of table metadata. So we're actually going to, we can use set here too. Well, we'll leave it as update for now, but probably we should use set. Anyway, we'll use set here. So set allows us to just set the actual state of the store. So we're going to say that the state is data and then is connected. Obviously we're connected, so that's just going to stay true. Or like we're just going to hard code that to true. Oh, look at that. Isn't that nice, concise? No error handling because we're just gonna not make mistakes. That's how we'll deal with error handling. And then I guess here our default thing, data will just be an empty array. I don't know why more developers don't just not make mistakes when they're developing. That's something we should all just try. But you know, that's just a little tidbit from me while you're developing. Just kidding. Okay, so let's jump over to our app now, and let's explore the reactivity of our thing here, so that we actually, when we update, we actually then update the UI as well. So okay, so we want to. Oh, you know what I just remembered? This funny content thing, skip to content. I actually have to import content and put all the rest of it in there, I think. So we'll do that now. We'll just put all the content here. Okay. in the rest of our main thing. And then inside of here, okay, so if you want conditional state, which I think we do here because basically we don't want to try and display anything if we're not connected yet. So if this is how you do if and conditional stuff in Svelte. So if our store, okay, and here this is weird syntax. If you want to reference the actual state of the store versus the methods on it, you got to use this $sign thing, and that gives you sort of like reactive reference to the store. So if the store is connected, if the store is connected, then we want to, and this is how you close out the if. But I think we also need an else in it. Oops, an else in there maybe, because is that a $sign? No, I'm looking over here. It's a colon. Okay, cool. Ooh, here, check this out. This is pretty cool. Okay, now, so if we have it, let's just display the actual, like just the JSON that we get back. It'll look terrible, but store.data. Oh, you know what? We might have to actually like JSON stringify that, right? Maybe. Okay, so we updated it. We're sitting here. Oops, what happened there? Okay, we're sitting there. We get to here and it says if store is connected. No, it's not. So else we show the loading. Okay, cool. So what we can do is let's connect. Now, right now you're signing a raw JW, like a real JWT here. And it's basically the same concept as sign in with Ethereum. So we're actually going to be changing soon to use sign in with Ethereum so that you'll actually get a human readable message, so you don't have to trust that you're like signing some sort of, you know, statement that says I'm totally fine with Carson draining my wallet or something like that. But anyway, look at that. That's pretty cool. So I connected, and then the state changed, and now I've got apparently an empty list of data. I thought for sure I had some pre-existing tables on this account, but maybe not. Anyway, let's just trust this. Trust. I mean, I said we weren't making mistakes, so obviously that's not a mistake. I just literally don't have any tables there. So that's possible, maybe. So, okay. The next thing I think that we might want to do is, well, we have to be able to like create a new board that we're going to insert our tasks into. And so let's go back to our store here, and we'll create a new one called create. Again, I have no idea if this is like this is a best practices thing or not for developing with Svelte. So, but maybe it is. Who knows? Right? Okay. Anyway, we're going to create a new store, and we're going to use Tableland to do that. So we're going to do API.create, and so all we have to do is pass it our SQL statement that we want to create, that we want to use to create our table. So like this, basically this is the table spec that we're going to use for our app. Just going to respond in a comment there. Yeah, okay, so let's do that. And this gives you a good idea of kind of like how you want to define your tables and things like that. So, you know, it's always going to start with create table. And I'm going to, what did I call this project? Svelte Tableland app. Svelte Tableland app. We'll always have that prefix there. This is one way where, like, if your app is going to, later on, you're going to like query all the tables that are associated with an account, and you want to like display the ones that are relevant to your app, then you could use a very like deterministic prefix like this. That way you know exactly what the structure and blah 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 of the table is. We also have this, when you create a table, it actually like hashes the column definition, the table definition, so that you can look for specific definitions of a table as well. So like if you want a table that has this exact layout of columns, then you can do that. And that's pretty handy like as a developer. There's lots of like nice reasons why you might want to do that. Oh, this is expecting another argument. I'll just put it as an empty options object because I don't need any special options. I could like have a description of the table that I'm creating and all that stuff, but it's kind of not, it's not really necessary for the purposes of this thing. Anyway, we're gonna have an ID thing, and this is, I'm gonna use a serial column, which Tableland does allow, and it basically that it's a serial, like it's like a auto incrementing IDs, which is kind of nice when we're trying to create unique entries in a table. So that's what I'm going to do. I could also set this up as the primary key, but for this project I'm not going to do any like cross-table linking, although that's a cool thing to be able to do, and you can see maybe a demo of that in a subsequent video. Oh man, I'm almost out of time on this thing. It's taking way longer than I thought. And then maybe a description. Okay, cool. And then create table, that's a table. Okay, I think that's going to be great. And then for now, no, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the ability to no, that's good for now. We'll just create this table. No, yeah, what we're also going to do is in the store, once you create the table, we're going to redirect you basically to that, and we're going to add a query parameter to that, like redirect. So I'm going to do redirect. Oops. Oops. Base URL, and we're going to say table ID is going to be equal to name. Oh, we don't have a name. Yeah. So when you create a table, it returns back an object, and one of the things in that object is name. Name. Create the table, and it's going to have a unique ID, the text of it, or sorry, its status, its name, and its description. And then we could have other columns too if we wanted, but this is good enough for now. Oh, I think I might need a semicolon right there. Redirect, blah, blah, blah. That should just automatically stick the query parameter up at the top. And then, so that's cool. The other thing that you can do that I want to show with Svelte is you can do things like you can bind variables to like features of your state. So I'm going to have a table ID thing, which is a string, and it is going to reactively be equal to okay, we got to do import query. Pathfinder is going to be reactively equal to the query Hold on, I've actually done this before. Look at my notes. Aha. Yeah, the query parameters. Duh. And it's the TID one. It's going to be reactively equal to that. But if that's not given, I have an old. I already created a table. Maybe that will work. And so if the query parameter at the top changes, it should change my table ID that I'm working with. And then, oops, what we'll do is here we'll actually display the table ID. That's cool. I wonder if that's going to work. Okay. Yeah, cool. Look at that. See, it's automatically using that one because it's defaulting to that. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect. I'm going to assign that. I got nothing there. Oh, now I need to hook up another button. I'll just copy this. Create. We need an icon for it. There's probably one called. I know there's one called Add Alt. That's going to be Add Alt and store create. Yep, cool. That's an async thing, but it should mutate the state, and we should react to that. Okay, so we save that. Refresh. What's that? That's connect. Okay, so we're going to connect. Okay, and then we're going to create. Okay, so 6 and then create. Oh, is that working? Doing it? Let's see. Oh, I have a syntax error in my query. That can't be true. Oh. Probably has to be. So, oh, I'm going to make it the same to do demo because that's what my existing table looks like. There we go. Anyway, okay, connect. Fine. Great. Create table. Boom. MetaMask pops up. Go to mint a table. Confirm. Gonna take some time. Probably should have like turned back on the is ready or is connected thing. Okay, transaction confirmed. Boom, look at that, updated our thing here. And now we're in Svelte to do demo 708. Okay, cool. So I'm almost out of time. What I would love to do is wire up a button to like add a entry into this table and then display it in some cool way. But the other thing I could do is maybe what we'll do is quickly switch out. We'll go back to our store here. So in fetch, instead of listing all the ones that I have, let's change it so that oh wait a minute, do I even call fetch in here? No. Well, there you go. That's the problem. I know what I need to do. If it is connected, then wait, stored, fetch. I think it's just this. It flows out the await like that. Yeah. Okay, then we do, yeah, cool. Let's stick that in there. Because I never actually fetched the state. So here we go. Find that. Did it work? Maybe?
There's something down there now. Might just be a little thing up at the top.
Anyway, that's fine. But let's change out our fetch method to actually get the data in the table with the given table ID. Okay, let's see. Query. Select everything from table ID. That's fine. Let's just leave it at that. And let's change we're gonna change this to just an array of any, and it's gonna be fetch. Actually, gonna be data dot. I think there's something wrong with our types. So I think we actually want data to be data.rows. Now, we shouldn't have anything in there. And let's just console.log the data. Oh, I'm running out of time. I'm almost there. Displaying some real data. Oh. Is it?
Svelte to do demo 708.
Oh, no, I didn't pass in. Fetch the table ID. There we go. This connect thing is kind of annoying. Connect. Boom! There we go. Got it right there. Nothing in it though. Okay, that makes sense. That's fine. And we've got something called columns and something called rows. All right. That's what data is. So I just want to give it the rows. Okay, cool. So that's pretty good. So, and then we set that value there to data.rows. And then in the app, we're going to JSON stringify store.data. I think that looks about right. Okay. I'm not sure why nothing's going up here, but we can just take a paragraph around that. Maybe just also stick in blog just to make sure something is showing up. Connect to there. Find that. Ah! This shows for an instant. Oh well. Oh, you know what? This is what we'll do instead. Let's not do that. Let's do store.connect.then. Boom. That should be good. Connect. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so we have nothing in there yet. That's fine. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to just jump down here, and I'm going to use the Tableland command line tool here to add something. Insert into, so imagine we created a button where you can do this, but instead I'm going to do it from the command line. So the table is 708. 708. And I'm going to stick in actually, let's do this. Wait. Name description. What else did I put in there? ID, status, name, and description. Oh, we need status too. And we're going to put in the values. Status, name, and description. Done. Task and some fun task. I think that'll do.
Nope.
Oh, unset. Cool. Okay, that worked. I got back a data null thing. All right, so let's now connect. Boom. Okay, we got our state here. Da, 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 da. That's pretty cool. Now, I can add some stuff. That's pretty neat. But what I'm also going to do, again, ideally I would have done this from the UI, but I'm going to grant. Okay, well actually, first I'll demo this. I've got this. I'm going to switch the account. Oops. Oh no, that's not going to work because I don't do it from the UI. Anyway, if I switched accounts here, I couldn't actually like add any entries to this. But what I could do is I can go here and I can grant access to a different. Well, you know what? Let's just make a quick add. Let's just make a quick button. Actually, I'm done. We're out of time. Didn't get to the granting thing. That's okay. It was kind of fun. We did get to the point where we minted a table and or connect to the Tableland network, mint a table from a UI, and we actually can add and view some data. Next step would be to do all this cool stuff where I would like create a new entry and play around with it. I might fiddle around with this a little bit and try to get the demo kind of at a further spot before uploading it. But it's Friday, it's 11 o'clock, 11sies. So if you want to go and enjoy the rest of your day, finish up your coffee, I would say you should do that. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm actually pretty pleased. We got pretty far for having sort of not really done this live before, so I'm pretty pleased. At the very least, we figured out how to connect Tableland to a Svelte app. We've got this store set up where we can fetch and create tables and connect to the network. We use this Carbon components design system a little bit. Got a sort of somewhat nice looking setup here. The next step would be to make it so that you can create some tasks, maybe show them a little bit nicer. I mean, we can do that really quickly. And then the ability to invite another account. And by invite, I really just mean give them access. So we can I can do that now, where we'd say Tableland query grant, and I think I've actually done this before. Grant insert update access on 708 table 708 2, and this is actually this is my other address. So if I run that and I get back a successful thing, basically now if I switch addresses here to this deploy one. Oof, don't have much ETH left in there anymore. And I'm connected here. I should now be able to use that account to update the table, even though I didn't have, even though I don't own the table itself. And so I will get that working and upload this as a demo, and y'all can play with it next time. All right, so I'm gonna close out the stream. Thanks a whole bunch. Come back next time where we'll complete a task on the Tableland Mesa. Thanks a lot. Ciao.